Welcome. This video is a demonstration of how I made a Microsoft Access installer package for your end user to install a Microsoft Access database project. The installer file is on a thumb drive along with the other files that get installed. So in this folder called Certificates, I have the Access database file, a bitmap that will act as a splash screen instead of the default Microsoft Access splash screen. In the files folder, I have the backend file, which this gets linked to, and these folders are all other files that the database uses using links or paths. So the way I used to install this program, I used to copy the certificates folder into the C drive, create a desktop shortcut to the file, select the icon for the desktop shortcut, and then also create a desktop shortcut to the Photos folder and select another icon for that shortcut. So when I run the installer file, it will say application will be installed. Do you want to continue? Click yes to install or no to exit. So if I click no, it says user canceled, the installer will quit. If I run it and click yes, settings successful, the application files installed successfully. Click OK to continue. So it copied the certificates folder to the C drive. Settings successful, application shortcut created. Settings successful, photo folder shortcut created. Installation complete, the application installation has completed successfully. Now you can see the two icons on the desktop, and if I go into the C drive, there's the certificates folder. So the shortcut and the other shortcut. The first time this database runs, it checks the link and it resets the application icon. So if I run the installer again, application exists. The application is already installed. Would you like to uninstall it? All data will be lost. If I click no, it will exit. If I click yes, uninstall complete. The application has successfully been uninstalled. Okay, the icons are gone. If I go into the C drive, that certificates folder is gone. So if I run this from a different location, I'm going to put it on the desktop. Okay, it says it appears that the installer has been removed from its operating environment. The application will quit. So it won't run if it doesn't have its accompanying files that it's going to install. Okay, so the way I created this, I started with a file exist function to check true or false if a file exists. Delete file function for the uninstall. And I created an auto exec macro that will open the link installer when you open the database. So the link installer, if file exists, current project path, and certificates files link, that's the backend file. If it does not exist, that's when you get the message, it appears that the installer has been removed from its operating environment. Okay, if the file does exist, if it's true, it's going to create a link to it. So I have a table for configuration options, so it can check that table, and you'll see it in a few steps on. So it's going to create a link to that table, to that database, and then it's going to call the install uninstall function, which is right below. So it's going to check if C certificates and D lookup, so this is the name of the company, the name of the file, is false. That means if it does not exist, then it's going to install it. So you're going to get the message, the application will be installed. Do you want to continue? So yes, we'll call on install software, and no, we'll say the installer will quit, user canceled. So if it's going to install it, it's going to go to install software. Okay, again, it's going to check if file exists, current project path, certificates, files. Okay, by this point it wouldn't have made it this far, so doesn't need to check it again. But okay, so it's going to check it. If it does exist, it's going to copy the current project path and certificates. So that certificate folder, it's going to copy it to the C drive. Then you're going to get message application files installed successfully. Click OK to continue. Okay, if this was false, you would get installation files are missing, the installer will quit, but it wouldn't make it this far if it was false. Okay, then it's going to call the update link and settings. So it's going to move on to here. Okay, so it's checking the table. It's doing a delookup in that table where I set the configuration options. -1 is yes, 0 would be no. So this is going to be yes, so it's going to create a desktop shortcut to the program, and this will be yes, it's going to create a desktop shortcut to the photos. So it's going to call create desktop shortcut with icon and create desktop shortcut photos. So it's going to run these two. Okay, so this is going to create a target path to that C drive file and set the icon to whatever icon you have in the files folder with these two names on them, photos, certificate photos, and this one is a delookup, gets the company name. Okay, so if we were up here and it checked file exists, if it was false, it's going to install it. If it was true, it's going to ask you if you want to uninstall it. If you say yes, it's going to call uninstall. So that's down here. The uninstall is going to delete the links, the two links, and the certificates folder, and then give you a message, the application has successfully been uninstalled. So this can be run from the USB thumb drive as an installer location to just save the thumb drive as the installer, uninstaller. It could be run from anywhere else. It could be, as long as the installer is in the same directory as the installation files. It could be run from a desktop, any folder on a desktop, or any drive. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. Comment below or send me an email. If you want the file, let me know. Send it to you. I should be able to email it. Thank you.